Hello everybody, how y'all doing? I know it's been a while since I've done one of these videos. Um, it's I know, and the last one I did wasn't probably the best one in the world. I'm not going to delete it or anything. I'll leave it up there. The way I look at it is it kind of shows how frustrated, how we all go through things and so forth. It's all about our growth process and so forth. So anyway, I know I kind of keep trying to get the best angle on this camera. Unfortunately, I've been through quite a bit since that last video, which I'm going to go into here in a minute. One of the things I have gone through is lost my computer. I didn't physically lose it; it crashed. So I don't have that camera on there, which was more dead on. With trying to, do adjustments and so forth. And of course, I'm not a video person, videographer. My background is in graphic design, print design, basically, a little bit of web and so forth. So yeah, it's like the camera's kind of weird and everything. And doing from device, of course, things are kind of backwards and this and that. And I'm not used to it. I'm not somebody who does selfies and all that sort of stuff all the time. So yeah, I'm a little technologically challenged in those respects. So bear with me. But yeah, it's one of the things I have to get taken care of also is figuring out if I can even, um, get my computer back. So bear with me with everything. So anyway, if you recall, last year, let's face it, I went through a lot, at least with my health. A year and a half ago, December 22, yeah, I had a respiratory virus, which was causing me a lot of chest issues, aftermath, even after getting over it, and just things just kept going and going. In the process, I became type 1 diabetic. Then, even with being in the hospital, being on antibiotics, constantly on antibiotics, even after getting out of the hospital, I just kept having these flare ups, mostly because of storms that were going through, causing a lot of chest congestion, a lot of pressure in my chest, and so on and so forth. And at that point, when I had done that last video, unfortunately, things were just getting worse and worse and worse. And I wasn't working all that much. And yeah, finances were strained. I'll be the first to admit it. Not to say that they still aren't, but the main thing is that, and I did get help. I did wind up back in the hospital. I had tried a pulmonologist. Excuse me, which wound up being a huge mess. But in the process, I did go to, I was sent over to a much better hospital. The ER doctor got me on some breathing treatments, and in the process, she gave me the option, basically one of two options. She would send me home with antibiotics and inhalers. Yeah, that hasn't really been working out too well. But the breathing treatments that she had given me definitely helped. So she gave me the option where I could stay in the hospital, keep going with the breathing treatments, but she was recommending that I have a stress test and an echo done, just to be on the safe side. Even though I knew from my past experiences with witnessing heart attacks and so forth, I knew even mild cardiac events, I knew that, excuse me, that wasn't something that was happening. I went ahead and agreed to go ahead and have a stress test done. It scared me, primarily because then that way, if I went to go see tried to go see another pulmonologist, at least they would not be able to hold that against me. I'd have a clean bill of health, and we could proceed with the actual issues. Long story short, unfortunately, a week and a half after getting out of the hospital, I was served an eviction notice, so I had to move, which is why you don't see the wood paneling behind me anymore. I am in a completely different house, different part of town. This has actually been a much better situation. It's a much better neighborhood. there's it's actually a gated community, security patrol and so forth. Yeah, I'm paying more in rent and everything, but it is a much a better situation. The person that I'm living with is a much more stable sort of person. Unfortunately, the last person I was with was not a very stable person. Um, I won't go into it or anything, but yeah, it's just been a much better situation. Yes, I still have Little Miss Possum. She's around here somewhere. She's probably sleeping up underneath the bed as normal. But yeah, and as far as things that have been going on with my respiratory issues, I've been working with my primary, and we were thinking, even though I'm not really dealing with the congestion all that much anymore, I'm still dealing with a lot of pain issues, tightening of the muscles, difficulties with the airways, and so forth. So we're going to try a different pulmonologist, and things just kind of fell apart with that, especially with the move and so forth. And then we were like, well, let's try chest physiotherapy, but unfortunately we couldn't find anybody around who accepts my insurance. So we decided, or I should say, a decision was made, mostly my decision, to let's go back to square one and let's go and try a pulmonologist and so forth. But it actually probably wound up being a better situation that we held off, because the one that I was going to be going to see, not in the greatest of medical districts, but the one that I'm going to be seeing here is a little bit better. So yeah, and in the process, yeah, I've been working more. I'm still doing the rideshare work, and I've had a couple of incidents happen with my vehicle. Let's just say this last Mercury retrograde and full moon that we had at the end of last month were not the greatest. I had that, and then allergies this year have been horrendous here. Everybody's been complaining. I wound up for the first couple of weeks in May. Actually, I just got over this. I don't know if it's my allergies just flared up so horribly bad that I wound up with an infection, or if I possibly got a virus, or it was a combination of both or whatever. All I know is I just got really horribly bad, and I really don't know. So yeah, dealing with that, and like I said, I'm dealing with have been having to be dealing with a couple things with my car. Actually, one thing was I ran over a metal rod about this long and this big around with a nut attached to it that's this big around. Punctured a hole in my tire, wound up getting trapped in my wheel well and everything. I also still have to get the tire pressure sensor replaced. And then a couple days later, because of another issue that I was having, I wound up in a car accident, a little bit of damage on the front up there, so I still have to be dealing with that. But at the same time, I also have an electrical issue with one of my back tail lights, and I have to get that taken care of before, because my Uber inspection is due here at the end of the month. So yeah, it's not a good situation that I'm in, at least financially, especially too. I also still have my DMV registration that's also due at the start of next month, and then I also have another financial issue that is due at the end of this month. So yeah, I'm just kind of, and I'm not telling you all this, oh, please send me money or anything like that. That's not it. It's just, me just letting you all know, hey, I'm dealing with crap just as much as everybody else. Those of us in the spiritual community also deal with a lot of issues and so forth. We also deal with all of the challenges and everything. And that's the thing, when you're dealing with the challenges with day-to-day in life and so forth, it's about, it isn't about things coming at you to keep you in a victim mentality. It's to show you, either ways that you can grow or show you ways that you have grown. Okay, that's the thing. Excuse me, with everything. Okay, so and throughout all of this, yeah, I've had to take a step back. I really, really have. I've taken a big step back with everything. Obviously, I haven't had too much of a choice in that without having a computer or anything. It's been yeah, I've had to, but it's given me opportunities to think about things, think about the directions that I have been going in my life, figuring out what it is that I really want to do and so forth. And I've been having a lot of those sorts of conversations with spirit, and with my guides and my guardians and my guides, because I I don't want to say I have been feeling lost or anything, but I have been questioning what it is that I should be doing and everything. And a lot of things have been revealed to me. One thing that I definitely am moving towards is pursuing a dream that I've had ever since I was a kid. And that is to buy an old historic home, like late 1800s, like Victorian era. I love Victorian architecture. I've always wanted to buy a Victorian home and remodel it and restore it. So that's one of the things that I am moving towards. There's a house that I had seen last year that had come up for sale, and I just knew when I had seen it, that's the one. Even though I had this other image in my mind of the type of architecture I've always been drawn to and everything. In many ways, this house deviates from that. But when I saw this house, I knew it. And it was on the market for very, very briefly, and it didn't sell. The owner, I suspect, was looking to possibly do a quick sale, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. But it is something that I still would very much like to pursue. So I am definitely moving in that direction. Obviously, it's not here in Vegas. We don't have any Victorian homes here in Vegas. There is one but it's a new construction. I don't know when it was built or anything, but it's not really considered to be, like a true Victorian home. Um, um, so that is something that I am definitely pursuing. One of the reason I had wanted to go, I did try and go for it last year, but unfortunately things didn't work out. I kept running into roadblocks at that point in time, and I understand why. I basically wasn't ready for it. And Part of it was I wasn't too sure still which direction that I was going in my life. And especially since I was still, dealing with all the health issues and everything. And I'm just like, I don't need this right now. But the house really started calling to me after I made the move here and everything. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. So I figure, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Maybe there's another one, but that's a dream that I have that I really, really am seeing about pursuing. So that's something that I'm going after. But then, of course, one of the big questions that I had was, especially with the sorts of areas that I'm looking at and everything, because I don't want to be in an urban area. I'd much rather be someplace rural and so forth. Well, obviously, there's not going to be much opportunities for ride sharing work in those areas. There's it's what sort of work do I do and everything, and that's something that I've been really, really pondering. But spirit has been showing me different ways, and mostly what I have been getting is follow your heart, be true to you, and that's the thing that everybody really needs to um, uh, think about, especially if you're going through some sort of a healing process. One Whether it's because of some sort of trauma or whatever that you're going through, you got to be true to you, true to your heart. Okay, because that's part of your healing process that you are gonna that will help you. as you're going through everything. I hope that makes sense. I know what I was trying to say there. And when you're being true to you, you're being true to yourself. Not necessarily, obviously, yes, you should be true to everybody else, but the most importantly is being true to you. It helps with your not only with your growth and your healing and so forth, but it also helps with your self love, and it also helps with your intuition building. One of the big topics that always comes up whenever I have these sorts of conversations with people who are just starting out with trying to build their intuition, channel into their spiritual gifts or ESP or whatever it is that you want to call it and so forth. It helps with that sort of growth and everything, because when you are being true to your when you're building your own self-love and everything, you're also building your own self-confidence, and that is where that those gifts really start to come out, is because and is when you start having that self-confidence. So but yeah, um when with having these sorts of conversations that I've been having with spirit and my guides and everything, with trying to figure out what sort of career, basically, direction I should be going, the answer that has been coming out is follow your heart, be true to you. And one of the things I've had to realize is that I'm not a conventional person. I'm not somebody who I've worked in the corporate world. I've worked, the traditional, sort of 9 to 5 sort of jobs, or retail, all these sorts of jobs and everything. I'm not that sort of person. I'm not very comfortable in those sorts of situations. I'm not very comfortable in structured environments. I'm somebody who's always been very independent. I'm always somebody who's always had to be independent. Not because I'm a rebel or anything like that, but because I'm somebody who doesn't feel very comfortable in this. I'm more of a take charge sort of person. So what does that look like? That was the big question I've had. What does that look like in some sort of a career sort of situation? But at the same point, I'm also somebody who is a visualizer. I'm somebody who is creative and so forth. What does that look like? Even with trying to do like freelance work or what have you, I'm going to try and adjust that a little bit more. Unfortunately, I started listening to all the triggers that I had been, was having and so forth with that. I don't feel very comfortable with, I hate to say it, I don't feel very comfortable working with people. I really don't. I'm somebody who is more of a hermit. I prefer to be on my own, doing my own thing without having all this energy coming at me and so forth. So what does that look like? On the one hand, I like talking to people, but I guess I don't want to say I like talking at people. I do like to help people. But it's just, there's been a lot there that I have been trying to sort through and so forth throughout everything. So ultimately, what I have come to is, yeah, in some ways, I didn't like doing these videos, doing the tarot readings and so forth before, because I found that I felt that my spirituality was something that's very personal to me, very, very private. And on the one hand, I didn't like spreading it out there for the whole world to see, as in many ways I am a very private person. But at the same point, I also do like to help people. So yeah, the little bit of a dichotomy there, and trying to wrestle with all that and everything. But ultimately, what it boiled down to is, I do have those sorts of gifts. My experiences that I have had with my own personal growth and everything I have found actually does help people with them with their own healing processes and so forth. So my question has been, what, how do I, what do I do, and so on and so forth. And all I have been getting from Spirit is follow your heart. Everything else will play itself out, basically. So that's what I'm doing. Basically, being an eclectic person, have all these different projects and so on and so forth. That's how I'm happiest, is somebody who has all these different projects and everything going on all at the same time. I picked up sewing again. I've been working on building an Etsy store. I want to see about getting my computer back so I can do what other people would term as clip art, basically vector art for sale. I want to be able to get back into doing my nature photography. I want to be able to travel, buy an RV and do travel. Also renovate an old historic home, all this sort of stuff, that I really, really want to see about doing, and let it play out. And at the same point, I also want to be able to do writing. I'd like to do some self-help, writing books or manuals or what have you. And really, what really helped me, I was still kind of wrestling if I should go back into doing this or not. But ultimately, especially this week, it's really been hitting me a lot. And I've been finding that when these things are sorts of things that have been rehashing back into my life, these, have been really hitting me. Do this, do this, do this, like the sewing. I found that it was actually meditative. It was actually it's been very, very healing for me. And I've been enjoying it. So I'm running with it. And I've done some pretty amazing things so far, which I'm looking forward to being able to share with you guys and so forth. At some point, I'm getting there slowly, one step at a time. But the thing that really hit me was this morning when I woke up, I kind of still hit my social media and everything. But when I woke up, I was hitting my Instagram account, and there was a post that came up there from somebody that I haven't heard from in quite a while, and it just brought a smile to my face. I was just like, oh. Then I went through my whole morning routine and so forth, and I always start and end with my Instagram account. And when I came back around to my Instagram account, there was a post from somebody that I've been following for about a couple of years now, something like that. And this particular individual went through something pretty traumatic about a year and a half ago, and I have provided at least energetically some healing energy, always sending out love, light, and positivity and so forth. And this individual posted something that they admitted that they think about that traumatic experience every single day. And I'm just like, wow. It made me think about what I've been through with this individual, with going through it and everything. And not just, my own personal experiences or whatever, but things that I have done to try and also help with this person and with their healing and everything. And it made me think about the healing that I have helped provide to people in the background, not necessarily through these channels or anything, but and not even necessarily through my ride sharing work, but just on an individual basis with people and everything. And I'm like, you know what? And I also was thinking about some messages that have been coming through Soulful Revolution with MJ Cranmore, the messages that have been coming through there here recently and so forth, especially the one thing with which he always says a lot, that even though, like, for instance, you have a lot of tarot readers and so forth, everybody has their own way of doing things. Everybody has their own messages and so forth. And everybody has their own talents for healing, and that's what the world needs right now. And it's very true. I mean, you look at everything that is happening with everything happening in the Middle East. We have this election happening again, thinking about um, I mean, just everything that's happening out there and so forth. And it's like, you know what? We do need more light out there. And that is my mission and purpose, is to be a light worker, is to help spread light, love, and positivity and healing energy. So, all in all, it is. I know it's going to be something that's going to be difficult, because this everything I'm still going through with here also takes a toll on me being able to talk and everything. But the way I'm looking at it is, if we can, maybe if you can work with me, be patient with me. And I know that I have a tendency to feel obligated. I am not going to feel obligated. I don't know how this is going to play out. I really, really don't. But I'm willing to try to come back and do things again. Like I said, I don't know what this is going to look like or anything, but let's just play it out and see what happens. All right. So I figure I would pull out a deck here. Okay. This is from the original Rider-Waite Tarot pack. And let me just really quickly, hopefully I have enough time. Here we go. Okay. Do some cleansing there. And 3 knocks to wake up. Blow on for my own energy. Knock out anything negative. Let's just see about, maybe, I know I apologize for the shaking of the camera and so forth. Okay. So, first card, a lot of anxiety. Yes, a lot of wondering, worrying about how things are going to be playing out. 9 of Swords. Okay. Bottom of the deck, the World. That's a good thing. Ending. Coming to the end of a cycle. Very, very good. I got this card here that's wanting to come out. Transformation. Love this card. This is my card, actually. Scorpio card. That's my sun sign. So yes, definitely. We have a lot of transformation going on. I actually have a couple more cards here that have wanted to come out. 10 of Pentacles. Excellent. This is a beautiful card. All about prosperity. Okay. And last card, no idea. Celebration. 3 of Cups. So yeah, we have definitely, and we have, I mean, for, this is actually very, very beautiful right here. There's a reason why I get called to certain decks when I do readings. Okay, and I do get some new tarot packs too, tarot and oracle packs, and I'll be using those. Okay, so we've been going through a lot with this 9 of Swords, bringing up a lot of anxiety and so forth. But you know what? We're coming to an end of a cycle, putting ourselves back out there into the world, which is going to be very transformative, lucrative. It's going to help bring us home. Also, okay, what was I talking about with my house? Okay, I want that house, but yeah, it's not what it's about. It's helping to bring us home, back to ourselves, so we can celebrate. All right, beautiful, beautiful message coming through. Love it. Okay, so let's grow together. All right, let's see how this all plays out. Oh, I love this. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Pentacles, building us together. The 3 people here coming together to help build a stable, solid foundation. That's what it's about. So that way we can try and help spread more light in the world. I don't want to say help combat evil or negativity or whatever, but help spread love and light. Okay, so hopefully that helps. I know hopefully it helps to explain some things, especially things that I have been going through and so forth. And hopefully it might help with you all as well. I know there's been a lot of things happening in the world, and I'm sure, and from what I've been experiencing out there has been a lot of anxiety with a lot of people. But, you know, it's the more that we can help spread our love and light, the more it helps other people to realize they're not alone throughout all of this. Unfortunately, we can have a tendency, with being on this planet, there's a tendency to be very 3D, to be very earthbound and so forth. And with us coming together and helping to spread love and light and everything, it will help with the healing process, the growth process, help people to understand that it is, when it comes to healing, it isn't just about healing of the body, it's also about healing of the mind and the soul, the spirit, this right here, our heart. Okay, so let's see how we can grow together. If you have any suggestions, things that maybe you would like to be able to see and so forth, I know I have ideas and everything, but send them over to me, okay? Either message me through one of these channels or whatever, or shoot me an email, okay? I love you all. Let's see how this plays out. I'm going to take it one step at a time. If I can't do a video a particular day or something, or even post a picture or whatever, bear with me. That's all I ask, okay? And I'll try not be hard on myself either. I know I have a tendency to do that. I have a tendency to set a little bit too high of expectations for myself. I can be very, very hard on myself. It's something I'm working on, okay? So I love you all. I'll take it easy. Let's see how this plays out.